Suppose someone told you that they had a magic fan. What sort of magic would you want that fan to make? Think about the sort of things that might be useful to you, or that would just be fun. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. I wonder how you answered that question. What sort of things could your magic fan make? Well, today's story is a rather funny tale from Japan about a very naughty badger who steals a magic fan that can... Oh, I can't tell you yet. Let's take a listen to the story and find out just what this magic fan does. But before we begin, a big thanks to all of you who have taken the time to write some lovely reviews for our podcast, like this recent one from Maeve in Canada. Thank you for your podcast from Canada. Hello, my name is Maeve and I'm 10 years old. My mum and I have been listening to your podcast for a few years now, and I never feel too old for it. Thank you so much for your storytelling. They always bring me comfort and help me go to sleep. Oh, thank you, Maeve. How I love to hear that these stories bring you comfort and help you drift off to sleep. Remember, if you've not already done so, can you take a moment now to rate and review this podcast? Remember, mums and dads, if you want to get some colouring sheets for your little listener, just go to www.journeywithstore.com to subscribe to our free monthly newsletter, where we will be offering other freebies and goodies to our newsletter subscribers in the coming months. So please go ahead and subscribe today. Now let's take a journey with the badger and the magic fan. In Japan, goblins are called tengu, and they all have very long noses. Now, once upon a time, 3 little tengu children were playing in the forest. They had a magic fan with them, and when they fanned their noses with one side of the fan, their noses would grow longer and longer. And when they fanned their noses with the other side, their noses would shrink back to their original sizes. The 3 tengu children were having a wonderful time fanning their noses, but just then a badger came by and saw what they were doing.
My, how I'd like to have a fan like that,
he said to himself. And then he thought of a good trick. Badgers are always playing tricks and can change themselves into any shape they want. So the badger changed himself into a little girl. He took 4 bean jam buns with him and went to the tengu children. "Hello, children," said the badger. "I've brought you some wonderful bean jam buns. Please let me play with you." The tengu children were delighted because they loved to eat bean jam buns. But there were 4 delicious buns to be divided among the 3 of them, and they immediately started arguing over who would get the very last bun. Finally, the badger said, "I know how to decide who gets the last bun. Close your eyes, and the one who can keep his eyes closed and hold his breath the longest will win the last bun." The tengu children all agreed. The badger counted 1, 2, 3, and they closed their eyes hard. As soon as they did, the badger grabbed the magic fan and went running away with it as fast as he could leaving the Tengu children in the forest with their eyes closed and still holding their breath.
"Ha ha!" laughed the badger. "I certainly made fools out of those Tengu children,"
he said, and went walking along his way. Soon the badger came to a temple. There he saw a beautiful girl dressed in very expensive clothes. He felt sure she was the daughter of a wealthy man, and in fact her father was a great lord and the richest man in all of Japan. So the badger crept up quietly behind her on tiptoe. Quick as a flash, he fanned her nose with the magic fan. Instantly, her nose grew a yard long. What a terrible to-do there was! Here was the beautiful little rich girl with the nose a yard long. Her father called all the doctors in the land, but none of them could do anything to make her nose shorter. He spent a lot of money on medicines, but nothing did any good. Finally, in desperation, he said, "I'll give my daughter as a wife and half my fortune to anyone who can make her nose grow short again." When the badger heard this, he said,
"Ha! That's what I've been waiting for."
He quickly went to the great lord and announced that he had come to fix her nose. So the great lord took the badger to his daughter's room. The badger took out the magic fan and fanned her nose with the other side of it. In the twinkling of an eye, her nose was short again. The great lord was very happy and started making preparations for the wedding. The badger was very happy too, because not only was he going to get a beautiful wife, he was also going to get a large fortune. On the day of the wedding, the badger was so happy that he ate and drank too much and became very hot and sleepy. Without thinking, he lay back on some pillows, closed his eyes, and began fanning himself with a magic fan. Instantly, his nose began to grow longer. But as he was half asleep, he didn't know this was happening. So he kept fanning and fanning himself, and his nose kept on growing and growing. It went right through the ceiling and high into the sky until it pierced the clouds. Now above the clouds, some heavenly workers were building a bridge across the Milky Way. "Look at that!" they cried, pointing to the badger's nose. "That pole's just the right size for our bridge. Come on, let's pull it up." And they began pulling on the badger's nose. How this surprised the badger! He started out of his sleep, crying, "Ouch! Help! Help!" And he began to fan his nose with the other side of the fan as fast as he possibly could. But it was much too late. The heavenly workers kept on pulling, crying, "Heave! Ho!" until they had pulled the badger into the sky. And no one ever saw him again. I wonder, does this story remind you of any other fairy tale where someone's nose grows very long? Yes, of course. Remember Pinocchio, whose nose grew long every time he told a lie? I bet that this funny story today must have painted some wonderful pictures in your imagination. Do get busy and send us your drawings at www.journeywithstory.com. Just click on the contact page and download your drawing there. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.